What is back? G-reg back, bro. We back with another crime video, bro. Not gonna lie, that last one was fucking insane, dude. No, man, let's just keep going, I guess, bro. These motherfuckers be crazy. Whoops. Cops make. Alright, bet. We're gonna do another video with Explore with us. Cops make the worst discovery of their fucking lives, bro. Come on, an hour long. We in for a ride. Not gonna lie, this vid I'm probably just gonna let go for most of the time. Do a lot less stops.
Gas, and it smelled like feces, and then it smelled like death.
Now remember, when we open this is something that we're never gonna be able to unsee. Is it a bloodbath in there?
On May 22nd, 2019, police in Sturgis, Michigan listened to an anonymous 911 caller read them an address. Inside this home, the caller explained, they would find the missing 42-year-old Kelly Jean Warner Miller. Little did authorities know that single phone call would launch the most shocking investigation of their careers, one that required uncovering secret after haunting secret, all buried within an exceptionally twisted and sadistic mind. The following footage has never been seen before. When Kelly Jean, known as KJ, went missing in April 2019, no red flags went up. There were no frantic phone calls to 911 and no weary search parties. But it wasn't because KJ wasn't loved. The trouble was that her lifestyle was transient. She was estranged from her family and had untreated mental health struggles. This meant that sometimes long periods of absence were the norm for KJ. So when police received a 911 call sending them to an address to look for her, and officers found themselves standing on the doorstep of an ordinary-looking apartment, it was hard to believe the call was even real. After all, this wasn't the kind of thing one saw in the small town of Sturgis, Michigan. But there was only one way to find out.
She said, inside on the left. So, hi, Wade.
The fact that they know what a dead body smells like, but like I know they're cops and shit, but like, bro.
How you doing, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good.
I remember you from the Speedway.
Where you up to now?
Answering the door is 35-year-old Wade Allen.
We're looking for Kimberly.
Kelly?
Or Kelly.
You know Kelly?
Kimberly or Kelly?
Kelly the shelter, maybe?
KJ?
KJ?
Yeah.
At first, Wade seems confused, and for good reason. It's close to midnight, and he's been startled awake by several armed officers knocking on his door. Wade recently came to live in this apartment after a period of homelessness, and KJ was an acquaintance from a shelter he frequented in Kalamazoo.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard from that person in some months.
Do you know her?
I haven't heard from her in a while. The last time I've seen her is a couple months from last I heard she's in Kalamazoo. I think the best way for me to help you get a hold of her is through the shelter.
The eerie atmosphere is palpable. With a call like this, officers can't simply take Wade's words as fact. They need to confirm what, if anything, is behind his front door.
Well, we just need to talk to her.
Oh, well,
Do you mind if we come and look, make sure she's not here?
I can tell you she's not. I mean,
I mean, I can tell you.
According to Wade, he and KJ had lost touch recently after she suddenly stopped responding to his Facebook messages.
as far as here, I don't like this. My place is nice and I don't like this people going going all the time.
We don't hear, we see all sorts of...
Oh my god, bro. Like, real shit. What do you do in this situation, bro? They smell the dead body, bro. They're like asking you hard questions to see if you're gonna fuck up. Because if you do, they can just go right in.
Well,
Right off the rip, bro. Alright,
All we gotta do is
right off the rip, I know he's fucked.
verify she's not here, and then we can get out of here and be done with it.
I don't know. I feel bad for you. If you guys want to come by another time, just not right now. Let me at least have a day where I can clean up and do things.
Okay. Well, here's the deal, Wade.
What did he just say, bro? He just said so I could clean up and do things, bro? So you can clean up her dead body?
And do things.
Okay. Well, here's the deal, Wade.
If we get a search warrant, we will. Alright? We don't want to go that route.
I know.
That's a lot of work for all of us, including you. So, if we gotta do that, we're gonna have to detain you and put you in the car for a little while. Alright? Until we get that search warrant. It'll take a couple hours. If she's in there, can you just have her come out and say, I'm fine?
Well, she's not though. That's the thing. Like, I can open up and I'll say, hey, KJ, Kelly, and there's no Kelly or KJ.
Nice to stand here, okay?
They can. I mean, I don't have her here.
Okay.
Eventually, Wade agrees to let one officer, one he's met in the past, search his apartment.
Do you want to just one of you then?
One of us is fine.
Do you want to come in?
I'll go and wait, thank you.
I know you know me enough, like,
Yeah, I just...
it's not much, but I don't have, I mean, I got my sunglasses here, but not much
Why are you pointing out your friend's sunglasses, bro?
anything. And then I got all this black, not there now. You see? It's not here. I had her suitcase when she was here.
Keep blocking that doorway. Keep blocking the doorway.
Just me, and if I do have a guest, I have a bed.
As Wade guides the officers through his home, nothing in particular is jumping out, but just as it seems the search is coming to a close, one thing catches the officer's eye.
I don't have anyone here.
Okay.
I just
Alright, man. What's in the cooler?
He's about to get busted right now.
Oh, that's for when the summer comes around. I'm gonna have parties and stuff. So
Alright, no problem. Can you open that for me and then we'll get out of here?
well, not right now. I can't. Like, I mean, I want to save it
Nah, bro, this is just giving me secondhand embarrassment, bro. Like,
for later.
Okay.
For when the summer gets here. So, but I showed you. She hasn't been here in forever.
Okay. Well, you don't... Why don't you just open that cooler and we'll get out of here? I just want to make sure anywhere that she could be hiding.
She's not gonna be hiding.
Well, okay. I just need to know that, okay?
No,
I'm gonna
Wade seems eager to end the search and get back to bed.
Alright, you want to open that cooler for me?
point in the fridge either. Like, I mean,
Yeah, she can throw...
Yeah, I don't even want to. Like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I can't handle motherfuckers lying like that, bro. Like, she's out. Like, dude, if I'm that cop, bro, I could not handle that. I'd be in that cooler, bro. Bro, that shit pisses me off, dude. I'm dead ass. That shit, I can't even watch that shit.
You need to walk out there.
As the walls seem to close in on Wade, he
Oh, fuck.
You have
Oh.
one out.
Bet.
why?
You're detained right now, okay? Go on out.
I'm detained.
You're detained. You have to walk out there.
As the walls seem to close in on Wade, he's forced to make a decision. He can stick to his guns or prove to the police that they really have nothing to worry about.
You said,
I
let's see
said,
what she's on.
you're not going to get one. I'll give you the opportunity to walk out there. Do it now. You got anything illegal on you?
No, I don't.
Okay, put your hands behind your back. You got a knife or anything like that?
Imagine he runs.
Okay. Push your arm against the wall real slowly.
Being the team, I'm just.
Just want the opportunity to look the rest of the way through the apartment, okay?
Well, I showed you everything. Here, let me.
Do you want to show me?
I will. I showed you everything.
Why don't you walk back in there and show me then?
But I did. You see?
Can I look in that fridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's something.
Okay. I see she's not in there.
What you want to be in the fridge?
I understand that, but we gotta look.
we found people in some crazy places.
With no sign of KJ,
That
Wade
last
makes no
man, he weirded out right now, bro. He is freaked the fuck out.
attempt to hide his frustration with police.
He was worried as fuck she was in that
You
bitch.
don't have to hide. Well, I don't know her. I don't know anything about her. I don't know if she's hiding from the law or hiding from her family or what she's doing. I don't think she would. I just want to verify. Okay. Can I look in that cooler over there? That's kind of.
Bro, I can't watch this, bro. I would punch this motherfucker in the face, bro. I really cannot sit. I can't stand listening to someone lying to me, and I know they're lying. I call people out all the time, bro.
Like I said, later on and summer stuff, but I'm trying to keep my stuff kind of private, you know? That's fine. All I want to do is open it and say,
dude, this shit
hey,
really
you in there?
pisses me
Close
off,
it right
dude.
back up and I'll get out of here. Yep.
Bro, they're gonna get a warrant regardless, and they're gonna hold you. They're gonna get in that cooler regardless. Just show them and just accept it, bro.
You'll be out of handcuffs and we'll be gone. Well, let's have a warrant for the rest of this and I'll get detained. I don't understand why all this.
Seemingly confused at the invasion of his personal space, Wade agrees to wait it out while officers request a search warrant.
Why don't you just have a seat right there? Well, do you mind if I wait out here? I mean, no, I gotta type up a search warrant. But at this point, I'm suspicious that she is in there. Why? So, because you won't let me look in that cooler or any other big boxes in there. I didn't see anything else I need to look through, but a big cooler, I have no idea what size she is. If she's a little person, you could probably put two of her in that cooler. That cooler was that big. So basically, I want to make sure she's not hidden in there. It took you a little while to answer your door, so I don't know if she was. The reason why I took a while is because I had to get dressed. Okay. Yeah, I understand that. If you were in bed, yeah. But in the meantime, you could have been telling somebody to go hide in the cooler. I don't know. She's not in trouble.
He don't think
We
that.
just
He
have
think he
a job
killed
to do.
that bitch.
As officers repeatedly ask Wade to
knows
wait in
he
the
killed that
cruiser,
bitch.
he does everything he can think of to avoid the back seat.
I actually like to stay out here if that's okay. Well, we can't. Sit right here if that's okay.
You can sit long ways across the seat, but you gotta get all in. You want to put your back towards the other door, you can, or whatever's more comfortable for you.
Once Wade finally gets settled, officers catch up a few feet away, and they're quick to voice concerns.
Well, he's trying to steer me away from this big old cooler that's in the corner of this living room. It's a big, huge green cooler, and you've got boxes stacked on top of it.
Meanwhile, a somewhat cooperative Wade is still squirming in the back of the squad car.
I feel claustrophobic.
Okay.
I really am.
Well, alright, we'll head back there, okay? We'll put you,
I'm really feeling claustrophobic right now.
okay. Well, we could end this all. You could take me in there and let me look around more, or I've got to take you back and put you in a cell while I'm doing the search warrant. So.
Alright, well, let me go back then.
As Wade silently leads the officer back to his apartment, a strange energy hangs heavy in the air.
Did I see where the U.S. struck? Yeah. Did you see where nothing hit? They didn't hit shit, bro. They went after our biggest base. Sorry to interrupt the video, but yeah, Iran did attack. They missed. Every missile missed. Let's just hope this is it. And they're like, all right, we obviously don't have enough firepower to deal with the U.S. There was no U.S. casualties, bro. Let's just, Trump just be like, yo, bro, you're a little bro. We blew up your fucking nuclear system. Just leave it at that, and we'll call it good. We could fuck you up, or we could just call it quits. Which one do you want? And I hope he does that. Bro, no, see, Ghost, or Landon, bro, you realize if we go and attack them, that's giving Russia and China another reason to come in. We're lucky they didn't get involved after the first one, bro. Because then if that would have happened, then Australia and Britain's going to have to come in, and it's going to be a full fucking world war. Real talk, we know USA kicks ass, and we know we fucking rule the world, but we don't need to be having no world wars, bro. We don't need to be killing motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, hey, any Iranians seeing this, thinking about sleeper cells in America, just don't. You're gonna find out real quick. If you go to any big city, you know why they've been quiet for 10 years? If they've been here for 10 years, they go to big cities and see who runs the big cities. It's the cops and the gangs. They control the city, bro. Gangs control the bad part. Cops control the good part. They're going to have to deal with both, bro. And if you think you're going to go up in Chicago and take over downtown Chicago, west side Chicago, south side Chicago, you got me fucked. North side, you're fucked up. Dude, anywhere in Chicago, you got me fucked up. Detroit, Memphis, Atlanta, LA, Miami, bro, New York, bro. Just leave it at that, bro. I don't want to talk too much about it. I just hope Trump just says, Iran, you have one opportunity to call it quits, and I hope Iran calls it quits, and we just leave it at that. Well, yeah, you got to stay prepared 100%. That's why Trump's doing the golden shield, bro. Nobody's going to touch U.S. land. We don't have to worry about nothing hitting us on U.S. land. If we are in America, we are safe. Yes. Trump has already been on that, bro. The border, everything. Getting the whole country cleaned up, everything. We're on the path for that, all right? I just want to make sure world peace. We need to keep Putin tame. We need to keep Kim Jong-un tame. We need to keep all these motherfuckers just chill. We don't want no war, all right? Even though we would fuck them up.
All I'm concerned about is any closets or any coolers.
Like I said, just in here, watch.
Okay. Can I pop it open and just take a peek?
Well, yeah, if you want.
Okay.
Just gotta leave it to our Lord and Savior. You're
Just
right.
step back for a second.
Okay.
What's in there?
Just stuff.
Okay. Alright, let's head out here. Head out here.
Good now.
Yep, everything's good.
Should I do everything?
Yep. You're under arrest, okay?
Under arrest?
Yes, you are.
Alright.
Gotta get the crime task force out here.
Can I have a soda, please?
Just keep walking.
Once outside and back in the patrol car, Wade seems eager to fill the silence.
This situation happened, and
Yeah. Yep.
this will probably be the best way for me to put it right now.
The officers all
Bro, I'm low-key thinking about going into the Marines. Yeah. I mean, our country could use it, bro. Our country could use it, bro. I mean, I respect all military members and all cops and shit. So, yeah. I love our blue. I love our Marines. I love our military. Everybody. I just want everybody to be chill, bro. Let's just be chill.
already seem to have an idea that something
Let's
horrible
watch some
happened in
G-reg
that
streams,
apartment,
bro.
but they couldn't yet
Landon, why
know
aren't you
just
subbed?
how twisted
Why
things
aren't
will
you
get
subbed?
by the end of this disturbing case.
I am currently sitting in the
KR98,
car
like you in Call of
with
Duty,
a guy
bro.
in the back seat.
Like we in Modern Warfare
Had done
2019.
something bad.
As some of the officers begin searching the apartment, others transport Wade to the station and settle in for a long night, doing their best to put him at ease. Whatever happened, they need to know the full story. When he does start to talk, the story he has to tell is only a small piece of the truth, and what really happened to KJ is far more disturbing than anyone could have ever imagined.
We got some homemade cookies in there that are really good. You want a couple cookies?
That's alright, pass on that.
You want a couple of them, or? Yeah, no, I agree there.
Okay. All right. We will get you hooked
Bro,
up.
he's baiting this fat ass, bro. He's baiting his fat fucking ass. He's gonna start yapping away once he gets those cookies in his mouth.
All right, man. Here's some cookies. I can get started on those.
Soon the detective arrives. While Wade insinuated earlier that KJ was merely a distant friend, it's not long before that story changes.
And I think it goes back to like 2013 with her.
Okay.
And we started being friends, but we started probably dating sometime after that.
So would it be fair to say that you've known Kelly Jean since 2013 and
Well, I've
recently?
known her before that, but that was
There's an
just
ad
when
on
she
it.
added me on Facebook.
Recently, according to Wade, he even lived with KJ in his current apartment.
Alright, Wade, so what I would like to know from you is, in your own words, what happened to Kelly Jean?
I know she's been through a lot. Might take a little bit to describe, but there's a lot.
Please take your time. I have nowhere else to be. So I will bear with you. Officer Wire will bear with you.
Absolutely.
If you need tissue, there's plenty of tissues there.
Earlier, the search of Wade's apartment revealed some chilling discoveries.
So there's a rope, there's a bungee cords. We got the trash bag. Some type of ribbon.
Bro, gas prices shot up, bro. They're $2.99 where I live.
Female belt.
$2.99.
Girl shoes, those girls.
I'll start with saying that she's hyperglycemic.
What does that mean?
Right?
What does that mean? Hyperglycemic. What does that mean? Chat or YouTube, comment down below. What the fuck does that mean?
So, her eating levels are important. She has to have a certain amount of sugars or whatever. I only bring that to attention because I know at one point while she was making cereal, she fainted and really hurt her head, and it really concerned me. Because a little after that, I started seeing impairment issues, whether speech, memory, things like that. I was concerned.
How long ago would you say that was?
Wow.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, right here. You see this?
For her, that incident had to have happened in March.
Okay, so it's been a little bit ago.
Almost in March.
When she fell, did she become unconscious? Did she knock herself out? Did she just kind of stun herself? Did she?
She was unconscious for a little bit.
Okay, about how long would you say a little bit would be?
Well, I would say 5 to 10 minutes, even though that might seem like a little bit to me, that's a long time for someone to be unconscious.
And as Wade tells it, KJ's symptoms lingered in the days after her fall, and they weren't subtle. She had no memory of what happened, and she struggled to carry out daily functions that weren't a challenge for her before. Though KJ did suffer from these symptoms, what Wade is saying happened isn't the full story, and what really happened to her is far more disturbing than just a fall.
Whitehead on the side of my
And I
nose.
was trying to take care of her.
Wade isn't the only person police spoke to. They also asked his neighbor Sherry, who lived right next door, to come to the station to answer some questions and hopefully shed some light on what really happened
Crazy
to KJ.
motherfuckers.
According to Sherry, she and Wade had a cordial relationship, occasionally spending evenings watching TV together in her apartment. But Wade made a comment about KJ that left Sherry feeling concerned.
Also, he told me that she had fallen in the bathroom and that he thought she might have a skull fracture.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, you need to take her to the emergency room. He goes, I'm taking care of her.
This development immediately put officers on high alert. In the story he told officers, Wade explained KJ fell in the kitchen while making cereal. In this version, Wade said she fell in the bathroom. This is only the first of many red flags in this story.
She wasn't able to feed herself. And that really concerned me. I did my best to try to.
Bro, he talks like a fucking Jeffrey Dahmer.
I came in, I saw her sitting on the tub, and I tried to feed her this meal. One of these freezer dangers, I have a bunch of those. And it was chili. And she was just kind of like holding it like this. And then she just moved so slow. And there was just chili all over her.
Wade explained that KJ even struggled to drink water at times, despite his attempts to help her.
Did you try to get some medical treatment for her, see what was going on, anything like that?
Eyes are getting dry.
I didn't take her, no. I didn't know if she could move or get around.
What do you mean by that?
She just wasn't walking all that fast. Like I said, her motor skills were not good. I did start talking to her caseworker about how she might need an adult foster care. You know, because before even that, there were issues of bladder control problems. Like on my bed, I got a big old yellow stain for where she'd be on that. She ended up kitchen like she had issues with bladder control.
Sherry, Wade's neighbor, had more to share. Over time, she'd grown to feel extremely uneasy in his company. It wasn't long before an eerie and unprompted confession validated her strange feelings about Wade. From here, the story takes an even darker turn, suggesting that what police know about Wade so far barely scratches the surface.
He told me that he hit women.
He told you that he hit women?
Yeah. And that he was working on it because I've been through domestic violence, and I told him, you can't do that, you know? I said, you can go to jail for that. He goes, I know, I'm working on it.
After Wade's comments, Sherry remained friendly, but guarded, and she decided to ease off of their visits.
I thought, I don't want him in my house because he can drag me.
Right.
Within 2 weeks of KJ's supposed fall, Wade claims that something terrible happened. Keep in mind that he knows the officers are working their way through his apartment, and he knows what they're going to find. He's setting himself up with a story he thinks will explain away the stomach-churning evidence.
I figured she'd be okay in a bathtub, just taking a bath. No. So I started water for her. I thought she'd be okay if she was laying down, not standing up. I wouldn't have to wash over her.
She wouldn't fall.
Yeah.
Right.
So I see her in the morning. She wasn't breathing, and what really shocked me is when I saw her feet. And it means that she started with hot water, and I don't know, didn't have the strength to turn the knob, or I can't understand why she didn't turn it or adjust it, or and I don't know if that would cause death. It's hot water, or
Bro said hot water killed her.
She tried to get up
ass.
and fell or something. I don't know. I seriously do want to know what the cause of death was, because I really don't know.
With this claim, Wade has confirmed that KJ isn't missing. She's dead.
When you left the bathroom, how was she positioned?
She was laying in the tub.
Okay.
So this is where you don't see anything on the outside of the fridge. the naked eye. See anything underneath? No, either. Oh my gosh.
And did you go back in there?
I went to sleep.
You went to sleep.
I thought she'd be okay.
Authorities struggle to understand Wade's logic. In what world would someone leave a person who is incapable of eating, drinking, or moving around without help alone in a tub full of water? There's one very good reason for this. Wade isn't telling them the truth. While on a break in a back room, officers wrestle with ideas about what's really going on.
This guy, like, not all there.
He's not all there. We thought I figured that you could choke him up pretty easy, but he's either really good or he's just, I don't think he's all there.
As the police will soon learn, it isn't that Wade is out of his mind. Rather, he's attempting to manipulate them in order to hide the truth of what really happened to KJ. But the horrors uncovered back at his apartment will reveal an entirely different version of events.
So your cast off. Something's right there, because that's
Spirits over here. It's way down. See it, huh?
yeah. That looks like it hit pretty level.
It's almost like it's all the way across.
When the officers interviewing Wade return to speak with him, they press him further, hoping to get a story that makes sense. What Wade soon tells them is chilling.
And then when did you go back into the bathtub? Or the bathroom, I'm sorry.
Not till morning when I woke up and realized she wasn't there with me.
Was the water still running, or was the water off?
Water was off, so she had to have turned it at some point. Had to.
Was her head above water or below water? Below water. Okay. What happened at that point? Did you call 911? Did you call anybody at all?
My parents.
If KJ's death was truly an accident, it's hard to fathom why Wade wouldn't immediately call for help. Wade has also just lied to police. Or at the very least, he's leaving something integral out of this story. Given the 911 call reporting KJ's death, Wade had to have told someone about KJ's death.
He had her in the bathtub for a little while, and I don't think he's going to be very cooperative with you.
Okay. Well, most people aren't.
It turns out that Wade had no question in his mind about the identity of the mysterious caller who reported him to the authorities.
I only have one friend which probably made the call, and I'm not going to be upset with him. He probably got to the point where his conscience got to him too.
And Wade was right. The caller was his own best friend, Stephen Ryan Russ. Wade explained that after everything had happened, his only way to cope with KJ's death was to tell someone. So he confided in Stephen. But what he told him was so disturbing that Stephen couldn't keep it to himself. When police bring Stephen in for questioning, it's clear from the start he has reservations about speaking up.
Is this going to be in court?
This could possibly be used in court, yeah.
So where's you going to know about this?
He already knows.
Yeah.
Alright, so the whole case came to light when we Central Dispatch got a call regarding Wade and KJ. Do you know about that call?
Yes, I did.
Did you place that call to Central Dispatch?
Yes, I did.
And what was that call in reference to?
My family was getting very scared of him, and it was to the point that they couldn't even sleep, so I had to do something.
Stephen continues, explaining the series of Facebook messages that turned his world upside down.
He said that he did something and that he can't talk to anyone about it. And I was like, well, I'm your brother, you can talk to me.
According to Stephen, Wade then explained that KJ passed away unexpectedly, and he didn't report her death to the police.
He wanted us to help him move the body with the car, and we both told him no, that we can't do that. And I was like, you're one of my closest friends, and I'll keep your secret for you, but obviously I couldn't.
In interrogation, Wade tries to explain his choice to hide KJ's death, hoping to ease detective suspicions.
It's hard to feel like I can be honest if I feel like I go through scenarios all the time where I'm accused, and
Well, I can tell you, we're not here making any accusation. We're just here to
It's hard to
figure out what happened.
I didn't do the right action. I probably should have everywhere. I should have done something right. And I just felt like whatever I would have said would have just been taken the wrong way or said the wrong way. And
By now, Wade knew he was in trouble. KJ's body was still in his apartment, and he needed it gone. Stephen eventually paid him a visit, and things only got worse.
He's asked me if I wanted to see the body, and I told him no. I really didn't want anything to do with it. I didn't even want to be in there. It felt like there was an elephant sitting on the chest.
When asked why Wade would keep KJ's body in the apartment, Stephen gave an answer that only hinted at the truth.
My guess is because he didn't have the means of getting rid of it.
I treated it like I was guilty of the situation. I felt like no matter what I say or do, I was going to be guilty. But I figured even no matter what, that's how I do is I want to give it a proper burial somewhere.
Wade's desire to give KJ a proper burial is chilling, and his next comments stir up the eerie feeling that Wade desires some sort of control, a theme that will surface again soon. As disturbing as this story is, it's only the beginning of the sickening revelations, because Wade still isn't telling the full story.
At least wherever I'll put her, I would visit her. I wouldn't want her to have, like, no way visit her, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know
I get that.
I don't know what you guys would do with her now, but if I could know where she was buried, I'd like to go.
Cool. Brand new.
Yep. Got some paper stuff. I want to look, so.
The police then question Wade about what happened after he claims he found KJ dead, and he launches into a truly sickening timeline. But no matter how shocking his revelations seem, they pale in comparison to what's to come when the truth is revealed.
So let's get back to our sequence of how things kind of played out and what happened. So wake up in the morning, she's in the bathtub, she's not breathing. What transpired from there?
Well, it's not pretty, I'll say that. Seeing things that I can't unsee, but... Okay, so it took me a while to get some coolers. In the process of that, I would run cold water on her until I got some coolers fit. I was like, I mean, you have a lot of detective shows, right?
Sure.
So, if you keep the body cold or something, maybe they'll preserve it. I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant of what I'm thinking, but that's TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the whole decomposition process. And dude, I'd come in and check on her, and I know she's passed, so I still talk to her.
Okay.
Which makes you crazy.
I definitely don't think that it's something that makes you crazy. I mean, it's no different than someone who goes to a gravesite and talks to one of their loved ones who's passed.
First couple days, she's movable, right?
Right.
Then after that, you see, like, the blood kind of settle where she was laying at.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, that's when I started seeing, like, black around her fingertips and her groin and waistline. And then she was pretty sick for a good while. Because when she was laying in the tub, she kind of laid like against the wall, I think, or something. But even after a while, the stiffness faded away. She just got, laid on her shoulder.
Now, Wade was in a pickle. With a decomposing body in his bathtub and with Stephen's refusal to help him move it, it was only a matter of time until someone caught on. So, he hatched a plan. On April 12th, around 6 days after KJ's death, Wade saved up the money to buy a large cooler, air freshener, and 30-gallon trash bags.
So what happened at that point? You said that you bought one and then realized you needed a second. What do you mean by that?
Well, I wanted to put her all in one, but she could be whole. But I couldn't really move her in any kind of way to keep her whole. Nothing I could do to keep her remain whole.
Yeah.
That's where I really got gross.
So, is it a bloodbath in there? Or?
What happened at that point?
Well, when I had to get the second cooler, I had to put her legs in that one. And I'm not gonna lie, that was the worst thing ever.
I guess help me understand how she was in one and her legs were in another.
I had to cut her legs. So I could fit him out.
Okay, when you say that, you mean that her body was too big for the first one? So you couldn't fit her in the first one?
Crazy.
And was she too stiff to be able to move her around to put her in the corner?
If I could move her, I would have had her like knees up to her chest or something.
But you couldn't.
When Wade couldn't fit KJ's body into one large cooler, he decided dismemberment was his only option. But he didn't exactly keep a low profile. Instead, he asked to borrow a saw from his neighbor Sherry, not an unusual request if it weren't for his bizarre explanation. According to Sherry, Wade claimed he needed the tool to cut his mattress in half. When he wasn't able to use someone else's saw, he purchased his own from a local supermarket and then got to work.
What did you cut her legs at?
It's the most disgusting thing ever. Hopefully you never have to see something like this in your life. Ever. Alright, so here and then here. I started here, but then I realized her knees are still over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go here too. What I would have wanted to do, except she was too heavy for me, is take her under the shower to wash her off, because after she passed on, she cracked herself. I was like, man, I didn't even know that until I got into the cooler.
The police working their way through Wade's apartment eventually confronted the sickening discovery hidden in his cooler.
Now remember, when we open this is something that we're never going to be able to unsee.
Wait, what did they say?
We're going to be able to unsee. Open this is something that we're never going to be able to unsee.
Bro, I've seen that you don't want to.
Oh, yeah. Her head, her arms, her breasts. She's been gone for a while. Yep. See, her legs are detached and above the knee. Yep. Bugs have made their way in. Yep. There's a large amount of food on there. Definitely female. Appears to be Caucasian. Naked, no clothes. Okay. Oh, yeah. And cut up.
Nice. Okay, now it stinks. Well, so there's a lot more evidence in here somewhere.
It stinks.
Yeah, now it does.
The officers have only discovered part of what they believe to be KJ's body, but it won't be long before they find the rest.
Good picture of that. So that's where it is. Okay. we're going to move this. We're going to right in front of the suitcase. So this cooler is what we think might have the other parts in it. I will lift it up. It is tied in a knot up here. I will cut right here. Yeah, those are her legs. I saw some toes and an ankle. You're able to open that up? Yeah, there's 2 of them in there. Okay, it's probably not the best place to puke.
From his apartment, authorities also collected
That's not
clear
funny,
safety goggles, rubber gloves, and several small items, including bungee cords, a black belt, and a white ribbon. This white ribbon, a seemingly innocuous discovery compared to the horrors already uncovered, would turn out to be a clue to the stomach-churning truth of what really happened to KJ.
Was her head attached?
Yeah.
She's
in the cooler. She's
Yeah.
this head basically bent down like that.
That's all I seen was her arm and part of her chest. And I just shut it
About right here.
through the femur.
Authorities shift focus to the saw, which wasn't recovered from Wade's apartment during the initial search. Wade says that shortly after he dismembered KJ's body, he contacted a friend he knew through the local shelter system to negotiate a trade, a saw for a DVD player.
Was there a reason that you got rid of it, or just had it and didn't really need it, or I mean, how did that whole thing play out with Bill?
He needed it, and I needed a DVD player.
While Wade describes trading the saw as a casual, serendipitous event, police catch up with a man who received the saw, and he describes an entirely different scenario.
Like, he really was wanting to give it to me. I'm like, well, just wait till I bring you the DVD, because I don't like doing deals where, you know, I owe somebody, because then I got it on the back of my mind constantly. I have to, you know, I owe them. So I was like, just wait. And he's like, no, here, just take it out.
Would you say that he was insisting that you take the saw?
Pretty much, yes, he was insisting. Because I even said, no, not right now.
Did you notice anything about the saw that was weird, different?
Looking at you can see, like, in the serration, it looked like a chunk of something in there.
DNA testing of the saw blade did reveal the possibility of blood present, although further details could not be confirmed.
I mean, I'm not proud of anything at all.
Sure, but stuff happens and we're just trying to get
Not
this.
how this should be. Like, I kept saying this, where like, this is not how you should have went. This.
Upon reflection, Bill explained this wasn't the only thing that seemed off when he was around Wade.
And then when you heard about Wade getting arrested, what was the first thought in your mind?
I didn't believe it. I'm like, because I've been hanging out with him, I freaked out because I was sitting on the cooler and I didn't know. I smelled like, you know, now I know what dead body smelled like, but that smell was there. As soon as I walked in, it was bad. You know, I was just thinking, man, this guy got some nasty bowels or something. Right. That's what I honestly thought that was, but you know, now I know that was a body.
By now, the police are more than suspicious that the story Wade is telling them isn't the truth, but just what exactly he was hiding remained to be seen. Still, Sherry, Wade's neighbor, may have had some idea about what was really going on behind the closed door of Wade's apartment. In her interview, she recalled one of the few interactions she ever had with KJ. One day, she stopped by Wade's door to ask for coffee and was surprised when KJ greeted her at the door. Sherry didn't know it at the time, but as KJ peered out from behind the front door, she didn't have a stitch of clothing on. KJ agreed to send Wade over shortly. When he showed up on Sherry's doorstep, coffee in hand, he wasn't happy. According to Sherry, Wade admitted to forcing KJ to walk around their home naked, and by answering the door that day, she'd apparently crossed the line.
He said,
According to Sherry, Wade admitted to forcing KJ to walk around their home naked, and by answering the door that day, she'd apparently crossed the line.
He said, she shouldn't have opened the door like that. I said, well, I didn't see anything. And he goes, I'm going to have to get the bell out.
But back in the interrogation room, Wade doesn't do much to refute his neighbor's accusations. In fact, he expands on them.
You never gone to jail for fighting somebody or pushing somebody or any kind of domestic violence or anything crazy like that?
The domestic things in the past have been dismissed in court.
A pattern is beginning to emerge. While Wade admits fault in some instances, the admissions almost seem calculated, as if they're designed to distract from the larger questions at hand.
I said, if I hear any domestic violence, I'm going to call the police.
Sherry never called the police, but Wade eventually admits to the officers that he did hurt KJ.
Alright, I kicked her in the butt because I was ashamed of her cheating on me and such. You know? I shouldn't have, but I did. And then, come to find out in court, she tried to blame these bruises of her ankles on me. I said, I have nothing to do with her ankles. That's false evidence. Because what happened was she fell down by the road. Again, the balance issue. Fell on the railroad tracks. And that caused the bruises from her ankles rolling.
Not from you kicking her though.
No.
Gotcha.
Because she had a reason for concern.
Soon, officers place Wade in a holding cell while they continue to investigate, and as if it were everyday conversation, Wade nonchalantly confirms his neighbor's allegations. Earlier, when Wade was first brought in, he contemplated his choice to hide KJ's death. Most disturbingly, despite knowing what the officers at his apartment were going to discover and knowing what he had done, he somehow still had an appetite to eat the cookies offered to him.
Alright, Wade, so what I would like to know from you is, in your own words,
badass, bro.
what happened to Kelly Jean?
On the day I found her like that, if I had called it in, would there be a different outcome? Would it be anything different?
Yeah, I don't know. It just depends on, when it was and all that.
His indifference was yet another subtle sign of the horrors to come, but still, no one can prepare themselves for the nauseating story that is eventually revealed.
When was the last time you used a belt on her?
Probably a day or two before. But,
Before she died?
yeah, but I couldn't call that.
I wouldn't think it would. So, yeah. Why did you use a belt on her?
Because I don't want his hands.
Okay. What did she do to deserve the belt?
Oh, her coming back type thing.
Okay. So it's punishment to her.
But that is my point. I started using the belt because I didn't want to use hands anymore.
Okay.
That's why I'm not saying that it's that much better, okay? I shouldn't be physical anyways.
Sherry had a different theory, one that was sickeningly close to the truth.
I never really saw her because I think that he was keeping her in there and not wanting anybody to see her.
By now, authorities know more than they're letting on, and with one question, they signal to Wade that his house of lies is about to collapse around him.
We're not going to find any belt marks around her neck, are we? That's just a question I got to ask.
I don't think you all know.
You don't think, bro?
What if we do?
I don't think you should be finding things.
But you cut up her
With
body,
Wade's
bro.
history of alleged violence, authorities are hoping for first-hand witnesses, and when they catch up with his most recent ex-girlfriend, Katie, they get more than they bargained for. Katie explained that she'd known Wade since childhood, and their relationship became romantic in 2018, just 1 year prior. But it was short-lived, ending abruptly after only 3 months.
So what happened that ended your guys' relationship?
Okay, so, my kids had just started school again, and I needed to be home with them, and so I couldn't do whatever he was asking me to do, like pick him up or something, and he ended up showing up here, but I had my kids and I could not take him. And he started to fight out here, and I finally was like, okay, just get in the car, like, I'll take you, just to get you away from me. And my kids were in the back seat, and he was in the front seat with me. and we were driving towards Salem Zoo, and he realized that I was going to leave him there.
Mm-hmm.
And he said something, and I just put my hand across. I didn't even touch him. I just was like, stop. Like, just stop. My kids are right there. Like, you're freaking out. And he told me that he would break my arm if I ever did that again. And so my daughter she's a diabetic, and she started, I didn't know at the time, but she was like, Mom, my sugar's going low. But she was just taking it to get back home. And
Smart girl.
so
W fucking daughter. W daughters. What a smart. Kids are smart, bro. Kids are fucking smart.
And
Smart girl.
so I got us back here. My kids got in the house. I got away from him out of the car. And he's like, just get out of the car, take me. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to get in the car. And I put like a bicycle and a chair between us, and I wouldn't let him get close enough. He's like, no, I'm not going to hurt you. Just come here. Let's just figure this out. And I was like, no. You need to find like somewhere else to go, somewhere, like get away from me. I don't want anything to do with you.
And before the detective leaves, she suggests something far more sinister may be at play.
If I wouldn't have ended things when I did, that would have been me. And that's terrifying to me.
As police slowly gather more pieces to this puzzle, a clearer picture starts to emerge. Authorities are ready to confront Wade. Unsurprisingly, Wade uses the opportunity to smooth over his story, but in the process, he trips up.
He says, well, why didn't she scream or anything? I've never seen that woman scream. Never. I might have only seen her cry maybe 4 times.
Okay. What caused her to cry?
2 times was pain related. Like where she got hurt, she cried.
How'd she get hurt? Did she cut herself bad, or was it a broken bone, or?
Just, I don't know, I don't even want to really talk about that. I just know that that's the only time I've ever seen her cry.
Okay.
It's twice out of pain,
Okay.
and twice when I left her alone.
You don't want to talk about it? 'Cause did you cause the pain to her?
Yeah.
You can be honest with me, like, it's all about getting everything off your chest.
When I left her alone, I know when she cried being alone, I caused that emotional pain, physical pain. I don't think me causing her physical pain caused her to cry. I think, maybe
it was a little physical pain from you.
talking about causing pain to people is just not something I get a thrill out of. It's not.
Yeah, I understand that.
I just don't want to talk about that. It's not appropriate. It's not.
That was crazy.
No.
Ironically, despite Wade's claims here, he would eventually talk about this very subject, and it would be what law enforcement needed to break his case wide open. Soon the officer stands to leave the room. Sensing Wade's desperation, he presses a little more.
When we do the autopsy, what marks are we going to find that was from a scuffle between the two of you?
Like her lips might be messed up, or
Why would her lips be messed up? And you can speak to me, man. It's just between me and you.
physical stuff, but it was not something that would cause her to go through. Like that night was a peaceful night. Okay, I want that very clear.
Well, we're getting somewhere now. Now I'm starting to see a little bit.
Before wrapping up, the officer gives Wade one last chance to come clean.
I got 30 seconds before I gotta walk out of here, okay?
Okay.
So you look me straight in the eye and tell me that you're not the cause of her death.
No, I'm not.
While police know Wade isn't telling them everything, they never could have imagined the stories of depravity that would follow this interrogation. And eventually, KJ's autopsy would reveal a sickening story. After Wade was booked, the disturbing, stomach-churning truth was revealed. Authorities received statements from several of his cellmates requesting to speak with them. One by one, these men explained that Wade had shared every gruesome detail about what really happened to KJ. And proudly, what they revealed shocked everyone.
I'm gonna lay down and tell you guys. Man, dude, this guy is, well, let me just put it to you like this. He's a serial killer. He told us that he physically had this girl down on the bed with a white ribbon around her neck, watching the clock for 5 minutes until she was dead. And he brought her back to life.
If you recall, police found ribbon while in Wade's apartment.
What do you mean?
Some type of ribbon?
What do you mean?
And when he did, the torture that he put her through, it's gross. It's disgusting.
This is only the beginning of the horrifying reveals. Although Wade's alleged jailhouse stories vary slightly, several of his cellmates agree on a few particularly gruesome details about what happened to KJ.
He told her, he says, you're going to die by someone that loves you and not somebody that hates you.
Curiously, investigators discovered that KJ's very last Facebook message was to Wade on March 18th, the same day she suddenly dropped all activity. The message read, "I love you, you are mine, and I am yours forevermore. I know that you can't reply, but I wanted to tell you this every day." This ominous message was just the beginning.
And you said he brought her back? What do you mean by that? What did he gave her CPR. That dude needs to be put away for a long time, man.
As police interview cellmate after cellmate,
when you got a motherfucker in prison saying that shit, you know you done fucked up. I don't know if it's jail or prison, whichever one. They might be there in jail waiting to be for hearings and shit. But
on the same story, and as they continue, what was already a tragic story evolves into one of pure, unbridled evil. According to the men housed with Wade, his sick actions may have started long before KJ's death. They claim Wade had a jealous and controlling streak, and as one cellmate tells it, KJ's life changed drastically after she confided in a mutual friend about her relationship troubles.
His friend had a conversation with him and said that Kelly had told his girlfriend that Wade was being too rough with her as far as sexuality went.
Mm-hmm.
Wade said that from that point on, he was furious because his matters weren't to be discussed with his friends that were personal. So he said he never let her go to whoever's house that it was again. That from that day on, when he went to work, he started tying her up and placing her in the closet.
And if binding KJ alone in a dark closet for hours on end wasn't sickening enough, another inmate describes an unthinkably heinous act.
He gagged her with a screwdriver and a wash rag, and he put a wash rag around his screwdriver.
Dude.
And made it like a horse bit. That's why he went to take the bit out of her mouth, because he could let the wash rag and give her water so he'd keep her tied up longer and tie her. And what was the purpose of that? So she couldn't yell and scream.
According to Wade's cellmates, KJ initially fought back against Wade's mistreatment. When she threatened to go to the police, Wade amped up his efforts to silence her.
Wade started tying her up and keeping her to where she couldn't go anywhere. Like, she didn't go outside, she didn't go nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that Sherry had been right all along.
I think that he was keeping her in there and not wanting anybody to see her.
According to his cellmates, the truth behind KJ's death was so twisted, so unimaginably brutal, that it kept them up at night. In fact, after they heard Wade's latest retelling of events, the men took shifts sleeping, making sure there was always someone keeping an eye on him. His cellmate said that after Wade choked KJ to the brink of death, she lost her motor function, the ability to speak, and the ability to control her bowels and bladder. Then, she remained alive in this helpless state for around 2 weeks. weeks before her death.
He said he didn't know if it killed her, but he had to smack her to get her to come back, and I guess she never actually came back. She came back, but she wasn't there. So
she was brain dead?
But she wasn't coherent. You know, she never talked to him, but he got her to breathe again.
And in the meantime, according to another cellmate, she suffered unspeakably.
He said a couple times she went in there and just put his hand over her face and nose to see if he said she wouldn't die if she didn't want to die.
According to another man housed with Wade, he even seemed to regard her suffering as an inconvenience for him.
And he said that she wouldn't eat is why he was hitting her with the belt stuff trying to wake her up, but she wouldn't wake up.
Bit by bit, police are beginning to piece together the gut-wrenching reality of KJ's last days. While Wade claimed to have been attempting to feed her and care for her in her state of helplessness, this was a complete lie, and in fact, he was torturing her.
He got to the point where he was laying in bed one day, and he felt the need to take a torch that he had, and he said he burned her tongue, her clothes, and her nipples, so she would never feel arousal from another male again.
He said he even put her in a bathtub and dumped scalding hot water on her.
Yo, if I'm them, real shit, if I'm them, he's dead, bro. I'm not even gonna go back. You guys watch and go back if you want to. That is just sick and fucking.
Feet to see she had any movement, and she wouldn't move, scream or nothing. He said it was so hot that he boiled the water dumped on. He said it burnt his skin after that.
Since she was not bothered by it no more, he had to take it a step further to show her that when she was in the wrong, she was in the wrong.
The informants say that this is precisely when Wade injured KJ to the point of her incapacitation and eventual death.
He said no matter what he did to her, she had no movement, and eventually she just passed on her own.
Somehow, even after KJ's death, the hellish scene in Wade's apartment wasn't over. In fact, according to his cellmate, he wasn't even close to finish with KJ. It was then that Wade sunk to a low so unbelievable that his cellmate struggled to find the words.
He warmed the body up and had relations with it, or whatever you want to call it. It's just...
Yo. Dude, it's bro. After that last fucking part where he fucking burnt. I didn't think it could get any worse. It just got worse. What the? Yo, there's some sick motherfuckers out there, bro. Dude, I don't know what the fuck we can do to sort them out and get them out of here, but we gotta figure something. Bro, that could be your fucking daughter. That could be your wife. That could be your niece. That could be any woman important in your life. Any woman in the world. That's just crazy.
I'm not trying to hear any of that, but just...
Fucking weirdos, bro.
Yeah, he's a monster, I know.
This dude, I know I said that other people deserve life or the death penalty, which they probably do, 100%. But this guy is a fucking lunatic. If he would have never been caught, he would have done this again. And done the same exact shit and probably worse. He probably would have learned from this last one and would have been like, oh, I can do this now, I can do that. Whatever he could change, he probably changed to make it better for him or last long. Whatever the fuck he could do, he probably would. And he'd just keep doing it.
Can we back up to that part? What do you mean he warmed the body up ahead? In the tub, he would run in and then pull it down, cold water after he did whatever he did with it.
And according to another informant, Wade shared sick details about his horrific actions openly.
He was like,
Yeah, he's like, it was kind of rough at first. He like, well, her jaw just eventually opened up, and I just took the pants out of it before I had to chop her up. I was like, whoa.
Meanwhile, as this nightmarish scenario took place, Wade's next-door neighbor Sherry started to notice a foul odor drifting into her own apartment.
But then, like, over the last 2 weeks, he was even standing there. I said, what is that smell? It smells like something died. Like something's dead. I thought maybe an animal or something. And he goes, well, there's a mouse in my wall, maybe it died. First it smelled like gas, and it smelled like feces, and then it smelled like death.
It also seemed that the 5 or so weeks KJ's body was hidden in the coolers was no accident.
He was hoping that sitting in the toast for whatever, however long he kept her in there, that she would decompose enough that it would show the signs of the ball center back in the version from him. Wade told you that? Yeah.
KJ's autopsy revealed multiple areas of bruising, including her chin, neck, and right ear. Her hyoid bone, situated at the top of the neck underneath the chin area, was fractured. This is considered a strong indicator of strangulation due to the rarity of fractures from other types of trauma. Ultimately, her death was ruled as a homicide by unspecified means.
You would sit and watch Criminal Minds and talk about if I wish I had watched this and I could have done it differently. The way he talked to seem like he has done it before.
According to his cellmates, it was Wade's total lack of remorse.
See what I mean? He even in jail being caught, he's still thinking about different ways to do it.
Bragging that set them off the most.
I literally just
it's not there, man. He's just laughing about it, and he can talk about it like it's nothing to it. I mean,
sick
motherfucker. He jokes about it.
Dude, he deserves that.
He works on a police report, and most people, if you're interested in reading something that way, he'll let you read it. And it's just, and they say he loves the girl. I mean, you don't love somebody to do this kind of stuff to him, man.
Right.
Never know.
One cellmate explained that in addition to Wade's sick, unmerciful behavior, he was so proud of his actions that he felt he deserved notoriety. He nicknamed himself Chops, and he even hoped to write a book.
I know he said what it really matter? Her parents and nobody wanted her.
Despite Wade's claims, KJ did have a family, one that was concerned about her well-being and wanted to see her be happy in life.
Somebody needs to stand up for that lady, right? You know?
100%.
She has family. And that's good to know, you know? But I don't know. I got to get the emotional part of it, you know?
I'm not going to lie. A lot of these guys are probably switching their life. I'm not vouching for these boys or not in prison, but I know a lot of dudes that come from prison and get out, they big into the Bible, bro. So they probably in the middle of trying to change their lives and change the way that they think, and then they got to deal with motherfuckers like this in prison, bro. Like, I'm not trying to make you guys feel bad for prisoners or people in jail or anything like that, because you shouldn't be. They're fucking idiots and they deserve what they got. But at the same time, those idiots can change, bro. Like, the biggest crackheads and meth heads in the world, bro, can be some of the coolest people in the world if they sober. Remember that.
Completely agree, so do I. Yeah, I'm just happy that
I'm not saying you got to take time out of your day.
Sherry expressed her horror that she didn't see this coming.
Don't judge a book by its cover. Like, if you see they obviously an ex-meth head or something, don't be like, yo, this fucking dude. Like, 10 years clean, they can be cool.
Mm-hmm. But you don't know people. I mean, Ted Bundy, look, everybody liked him.
I mean, I'm not friends with no crackheads or meth.
When Wade's case went to trial, the first two searches of Wade's apartment were deemed unconstitutional on the grounds that Wade may have felt threatened during his detainment. It was also discovered that police officers falsely claimed to notice an odor coming from Wade's apartment in their reports. These claims were later recanted. Although Wade's defense aimed to suppress evidence obtained as a result of these initial searches, the appellate court ultimately ruled against them, stating that the discovery of the coolers was inevitable with a warrant, which at that point was already justified. In 2023, Wade was convicted of murder in the second degree, as well as mutilation of a dead body. He pled no contest and was sentenced to 39 to 60 years in prison. But Wade's brutality didn't stop with KJ. He was also convicted of third-degree criminal conduct after assaulting a fellow inmate in 2020. Once he discovered that his cellmates had spoken to police, he attacked one of the men.
Bro, shout out Explore With Us. Another fucking great video. I am actually going to hop off stream. We streamed for 4 hours so far. I got something to do right about now. I got a homie on the way and shit. We're going to go big news YouTube video coming up. I talked about it earlier, but I'm not going to say it again. See if you guys watch this video. And yeah, I love y'all. Thank you so much. Weirdos like, we'll be back with weirdos like this, bro. Fucking freaks. Fuck that dude. All right, deuces.